Have you ever wondered if someone secretly liked you, but you were too afraid to ask? Chances are you've had a crush on someone at some point in your life and suspected that they may have felt the same way about you. But for some reason, whether fear of embarrassing yourself, mixed signals, shyness, or something else, you may have been too afraid to ask if they liked you back. Luckily, there are some simple, clear signs you can look for to figure out whether your crush wants to be more than friends, without having to ask them at all. Today on Charisma, we're going to look at the 8 signs your crush wants to be more than friends. Number 1, the way you physically interact changes. If you've been friends with your crush for a while, chances are you've had some sort of physical interaction. Maybe you've hugged or given each other a high five or a playful pat on the back. But what does it mean if the way in which your crush touches you changes? Maybe you start noticing that the hugs they give you last longer. Or while before they might have greeted you with a wave, now you notice that it's a hug or even a kiss on the cheek. While you're talking, they might touch your arm or your shoulder. These signs all indicate that your crush is into you, as touching releases oxytocin, the feel-good love hormone responsible for bonding. However, even if you're not physically touching, how physically close they are to you can also be an indicator of their feelings. For instance, your crush might step closer to you when they're talking with you to help close the physical distance between the two of you. Often this behavior is done unconsciously or unintentionally, and your crush might even blush or act nervous when you catch them in the middle of doing this. Number 2, they remember the little things. Have you ever had a conversation with someone you found really annoying or just not interesting, and you realized later that you didn't really remember anything at all from that conversation? Now think about the flip side. The last time you talked with someone you found really interesting, you probably remembered most of the details about what you talked about. The same holds true with someone you're attracted to. If your crush is into you, it's likely that they'll remember lots of little details from your conversations together, like your favorite food or your favorite band. And if they act on this knowledge, like sharing a song from a band they know you like, it's an even clearer sign that they're interested in you. Number 3, they put effort into their appearance. If you're attracted to someone, it's natural to try and look your best. You might get a new haircut, make sure you're wearing perfume or cologne, or just wear your favorite outfit. So if you notice your crush doing these things too, it could mean they want to be more than friends. Maybe before they always wore sweatpants and a t-shirt, but suddenly they start wearing clothes that are more attention-grabbing and fashionable. Or they might fiddle with their clothes when you're around, trying to straighten their collar or smooth out any wrinkles out of an attempt to look their best. Another way to tell if your crush is into you is if you accidentally run into them on a day when they're not expecting to see you, and you notice that they're not as put together per se as they are on days you always see each other. They may seem embarrassed by their appearance or start telling you why they're dressed the way they are. This is because they want you to see them as someone who's physically attractive, because they're attracted to you. Number 4, their physicality changes. Another way to tell if your crush is into you is by observing their mannerisms. When someone feels engaged with you, their body language relaxes. They might lean into you when you talk, or their body language might become more open. For instance, instead of crossing their arms might hang at their side, or their feet might be pointed directly at you instead of at an angle. Another powerful way to tell how they feel about you is by noticing whether they mirror your actions. For example, if they tilt their head to one side when you do, or shift their position when you shift yours, they could be into you. This is because of what's called mirror neurons, brain cells that cause you to mimic the behavior of someone else. While it's not totally clear why mirror neurons evolved in people, some theories suggest that these cells help people bond and feel more empathetic towards each other. And what we do know is that when people are feeling connected to each other, their mirror neurons fire more often. So if your crush is mimicking your behavior, it's a good sign. Number 5, they find ways to spend time with you. If you're already friends with your crush, there's a good chance you've already been spending time together. But if the amount of time you spend together, or the way in which you spend time together, changes, it's a sign that they might want to be more than friends. For instance, maybe your crush isn't really an outgoing person, but then you notice that all of a sudden, they start showing up to friends' parties when they know you'll be there too. Or maybe they're not that into music, but when they find out that you're going to a concert, they end up going too. Another way to help figure out whether your crush might want to be more than friends with you is if they make an effort to change the way in which you spend time together. Previously, you might have only hung out with them with a group of friends, but now you may notice that they're trying to have more one-on-one time with you, like grabbing a bite to eat, for example, just the two of you. However this manifests, it indicates that they probably want something more. Number 6, they make eye contact. Did you know that eye contact increases the level of oxytocin someone feels? Oxytocin is a feel-good hormone responsible for social bonding, which includes the amount of attraction you feel towards someone. While oxytocin is typically thought of for the role it plays in the bonding between mothers and babies, it also plays a pivotal part in romantic attraction. As we mentioned, eye contact is one way in which oxytocin is released. Because of this, if your crush is making lots of eye contact with you, it's a sign that they may be into you. This is especially the case if they make eye contact, look away, then look back at you again, as this demonstrates that they're self-conscious about looking at you but feel a magnetic pull towards you. Your crush might do this when you're talking one-on-one or even in a group of people. For instance, when you're hanging out with others, you might catch your crush looking at you more than they're looking at anyone else. Number 7, they're nervous around you. If someone's acting nervous and uncomfortable around you, you might at first assume this is a bad thing. But this isn't always true, especially if your crush is attracted to you. If they're into you, they might actually suddenly appear more nervous and anxious around you because they're trying to make a good impression and are hyper aware of everything they're doing and saying. This is especially apparent if you've been friends for a while and suddenly the dynamic and how they act around you changes. They may, for instance, stumble over their words when they're talking with you or even laugh awkwardly. They might fidget with their clothes or adjust their hair or their outfit. Again, on the surface, this might seem like a bad thing, but nervousness is actually a sign that your crush likes you. Number 8, they blush. While your crush might be able to keep signs of them liking you hidden, blushing is something that they aren't able to control. Blushing is caused by the sympathetic nervous system, the same system that is responsible for the fight or flight response when we feel we're in a dangerous or uncomfortable situation. When someone is feeling embarrassed, stressed, or even attracted to someone, this activates blushing. This is because feelings of attraction can cause an adrenaline response. Think of, for instance, the feeling of your heart pounding in your chest when you're around your crush. So if your crush wants to be more than friends, there's a good chance that you'll start noticing them blushing more when you're around. But what about if your crush is an introvert? We have the perfect video that will tell you the 9 signs that an introvert likes you. As always, thanks for watching Charisma. Don't forget to like and subscribe.